keeping a secret this big is probably not the best way to start a marriage. Hey guys, I'm Stephanie Adams, your personal financial counselor, and welcome to this week's Messy Money. Here's what we have. I'm 31 years old, getting married next spring. My fiance is amazing with money, no debt except his car, great credit, saves consistently, talks about retirement for fun, which honestly should have been my first warning sign. I've never told him the full truth about my student loans. He thinks it's around $20,000. It started small, undergrad, then grad school, then deferments, then income-based repayment. And now the balance is over $150,000. I keep telling myself I'll tell him after the wedding, but now we're talking about buying a house together. And every time he says things like, we're in such a good financial position, I literally feel sick. All right, listen, this is happening everywhere. People are hiding debt. I used to tell my husband, I've been married for 28 years, guys. I used to tell my husband that if I were ever get divorced and start dating again, the very first thing that I would want to know is what's on your credit report. Now, obviously, I love to talk about credit, but I'm not kidding. I would want to know what's on your credit report so I can know how you handle your finances and how much debt you're carrying. But student loans is kind of one of those things that people disconnect from because it's not actually something that you can see on a regular basis. And prior to this year, it was something that you could put off for long periods of time. You didn't even have it in your, your monthly budget. It's not something that you're driving. It's not something that you're living in. It's something that you're using every single day. Now, most Americans actually do not use the degree that they went to school for, but they do go to work every day. And this degree is associated with that job for a lot of people. But in this case, we're not just talking about the math of the $150,000 that now needs to be added into the spending plan. What we're also talking about is the identity of this woman who is carrying this debt and hiding it from her fiance. He doesn't know. And she is now filled with incredible shame because she says that she has had the opportunity to tell him that she is carrying $150,000 in debt, but has only admitted to having $20,000. Well, that's kind of a lie. And that tends to break the trust in the relationship, which also is a communication problem. You do not want to start your marriage out with a communication problem. And I'm telling you, one of the things that people do not talk about in their relationships, honestly, is the amount of money that they're spending or the debt load that they're carrying. It is not uncommon. But for her, she's probably wondering if he's going to see her differently, which honestly, he probably is going to see her differently because she wasn't truthful with him. But now she's got an opportunity to come to terms with what she's done and set this right. But she's going to be dealing with shame. She's going to be dealing with fear. She's probably worried about what he's thinking of her. Is he going to think that she's irresponsible? Because irresponsibility will bleed into the marriage. Think about taking care of a house, maybe parenting, that kind of stuff. So she's not wrong to think that he may think of her differently. But that avoidance only creates a temporary relief. Just like a deferment of a student loan, it is temporary. You have got to deal with it at some point. It is not going to go away. And our brains love temporary relief. But just like the interest is racking up on those student loans, the interest emotionally is racking up in this situation. Here's the reality though. Marriage and hidden debt can equal resentment. We don't want that math problem. So this conversation has got to happen before they get married. It's not a good idea to go into the marriage with a secret and then drop this bombshell. She should probably get it out of the way now and deal with the reaction before she is locked into a marriage and has locked her fiance into a marriage filled with debt against his will. Maybe she can say something like, I know I should have told you sooner. I was afraid. I'm embarrassed. I'm feeling a lot of shame. I don't know how to get through this and I need your help. But she should definitely say that she does not want to start that marriage off with something hidden. So while a lot of us are thinking, man, this is crazy, $150,000 in debt, you probably need to come to terms with it. Shame makes you do some really crazy, illogical things. And I feel like that's what's happening in this situation. So what would you do if you found out that your boyfriend or your fiance or your life partner is hiding a bunch of debt from you? How do you think that you would respond when they finally come to terms with it? Or actually, has this happened to you? I would love to hear your stories. Please leave them in the comments below. And remember, people don't hide debt because they're manipulative. They hide it because they're ashamed. I'm Stephanie Adams, your personal finance counselor. I'll see you next time.